Tide Nation, it is Wednesday! Here we go! Bringing you the hottest show on the streets, number one forum for Bama. Football news, in my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA, live here in studio, spring practice for your Crimson Tide. Gearing up, Monday, March 4th, so much excitement in store here, Tuscaloosa for your Crimson Tide. We bring you the show from the magic city of Birmingham. We stream this to you on YouTube. Speaking of the channel, you know what time it is. You tap that subscribe button right now. You hit subscribe, get locked in, get locked on to non-stop Crimson Tide football content. You smash that subscribe button. You hit that notification bell so you miss nothing when it comes down to your Bama content. You hit the like button as well. Give us a thumbs up on the show, smash the like button, run those likes up, trying to get this 50 likes out the gate here to start the show. We appreciate that from all of you. Daily Super Chat goal, $100. Daily Super Chat goal, $100 right there. We appreciate all of you for helping us out on the show, and we want to hear from you this evening. Light the phone lines up. We want your energy, your passion, your phone calls, your enthusiasm. You can do this by calling 205-448-1358. The number to call in, 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. But, John, let's jump right into this here. Topic number one of a conversation, with it being spring practice coming up here quickly as of Monday, March 4th. Kalen DeBoer is doing something that Nick Saban did not do in 17 years of being the Alabama head football coach. Now, in 17 years of Coach Saban, you would only get to speak to assistant coaches twice a year. That was in August, during the media day, prior to the start of the regular season, the college football season. And when the final time Coach Saban will let the assistants talk to reporters would be the bowl prep season, the postseason, bowl games, college football playoff stuff, that type of deal. But just having an opportunity to speak to the media, talk to reporters, no, Coach Saban would not have the assistant coaches do that in 17 years. Kalen DeBoer, bit different. New age, new regime, new time. The 49-year-old is allowing his assistant coaches to speak to the media. He's allowing his assistant coaches to do interviews. He's allowing his assistant coaches to kind of give their philosophy and what they want to see happen here with Alabama football in terms of spring practice and the upcoming fall. Jamarcus Shepard, assistant head coach, co-offensive coordinator, wide receivers coach. He's done some radio interviews so far, and he comes off high energy, high enthusiasm, high excitement. There's a lot to love about Coach Shep. I mean, he is motivating. He is intense. He wants the best out of you. He's not for the complacency or the laziness. Coach Shep, real deal. Really like this guy. Has talked a lot about the wide receiver room, has talked a lot about Austin Mack, the transfer quarterback from Washington, and how he can push the envelope in this quarterback room. He's talked about Ryan Williams, had an ultimate compliment for the five-star wide receiver, called him an elite human being. Just so much good things to talk about when you look at one Coach Shepard. And then you have Kane Womack, defensive coordinator and linebackers coach, and Nick Sheridan, co-OC, but he will call the plays and he will work with quarterbacks. These two were on the Next Round show, 94.5 FM, Jocks, WJOX Jocks in Birmingham, and those guys were talking about defensive philosophy where Coach Kane Womack is concerned, where Nick Sheridan was concerned. He talked about Jalen Milroe and the quarterback room and the things that we can look forward to offensively. Basically saying Kalen DeBoer is letting his coaches talk. And he's letting his coaches to the media so they can say, what they need to say and what to be said. And Coach DeBoer even mentioned today on the Next Round show. He wants that healthy balance between his team and the media. He wants that healthy freedom between his team and the media. And he talked about it. He said, hey, you guys in the media, y'all want to see stuff like this. Y'all want to see practices. Y'all want to see, what kind of goes on behind the scenes. And we do. And I'm kind of happy that, Coach DeBoer gets that. He understands that. He's like, y'all want to see this. Y'all want to go behind the scenes. Y'all want to get, a bird's eye view of, how we're able to do things here in terms of this Alabama football program. So really cool there. Coach DeBoer opening this thing back up for the working media. We will get to at least attend 3 practices, in spring ball for the first time since 2020. When you look at where COVID came in and you didn't get a chance to attend practices at all. The last time the media was allowed out there was 2019, John? So this is the first time in about 3-4 years where you get a chance to really be back out there again. So I will take what I can get. They're giving me 3 practices out there. I will take what I can get, but happy to see King and DeBoer opening this thing up to the media where it can be a healthy balance between his team, his coaching staff, the media, and it can all kind of flow together there. But we take our first break here on the show. Don't touch that dial. We're just getting you started. Upon our return, we're going to get into those phone lines. We're going to get your calls. We're going to engage your conversations. Light us up, folks. We want to hear from you after this.
This is Matt Caddell, former Alabama wide receiver, and you're listening to In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith with Touchdown Alabama Magazine. And I got 2 words to say, baby. Roll Tide.
Touchdown Alabama is a fully independent outlet that covers all things Alabama football. Founded in 2007 when Nick Saban arrived, we have been here through the entire Nick Saban era. In this new era, now is the perfect time to stay up to date on everything Alabama football and know what's going on, including everything that's going on with recruiting. Our website at touchdownalabama.com will always keep you in the know on everything that's going on with the Crimson Tide, and you can also get breaking news notifications with our app. We have over 100,000 followers on Facebook, over 60,000 on Twitter, nearly 30,000 on Instagram, over 30,000 on TikTok, and we're constantly growing. Also, be sure to become a part of this rapidly growing venture and subscribe to touchdownalabama.com to get inside and premium information on the team as well as recruiting inside the state of Alabama. We are constantly adding to our premium subscription package, so be sure to lock in now.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
All right, people, we're back rocking and rolling to the action from the break. Hottest show on the streets, talking your Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Happy to have my man John Ivory holding it down on a Wednesday in the production studio right here. And happy to have you, the Alabama football fans, checking us out. Continue to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, drop that thumbs up right there on the show. The daily Super Chat Go, $100 daily. Super Chat Go, $100 right there. We appreciate you guys. Phone lines open, 205-448-1358. For number to call in, let your voice be made known on the show, 205-448-1358. Call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang as you guys are getting your thoughts to calling to the show. John, going back to the conversation with Kane Womack on the Next Round tape, on the Next Round show earlier today, defensive coordinator. Coach Womack talked about how Coach Saban has been helpful to him in terms of answering all questions about the dynamic of the 4-2-5 defense that Womack is bringing in here. So it's like, yes, Saban has stepped to the side announced the retirement, but he's still a voice that is helping out Kane and DeBoer staff. Coach Womack mentioned that he had his second in-person meeting with Coach Saban. Womack brought all of his cut-ups in, all of his schemes in, his strategies in, trying to bounce ideas off Coach Saban. Coach, what do you think about this? Coach, what you like about this? Coach, what you see about this right here? And, Saban, to his credit, was honest with him. Saban, to his credit, gave a lot of feedback. Saban, to his credit, in not trying to overstep boundaries or be overbearing. Saban did, his part, which is providing the adequate feedback or the more than adequate feedback for Coach Womack to understand, here's what I need to do to have success here with this defensive dynamic that I'm bringing in. Now, Coach Womack did mention that there's carryover, right, in the 4-2-5 that Saban ran with the 3-4 nickel defense the last few years or so, especially when you had players moving around in different areas, different spots. So there's carryover within the 4-2-5 that you have with the base 3-4 scheme that Alabama ran nickel out of as well. But there is some terminology, there is some word jargon that's a bit different there. And Coach Womack talked about trying to pare that down and making sure that's simplified to where the players understand what they're doing here in this defensive package so they can play fast, they can play free, and play physical football. Coach Womack's dad, Dave Womack, was one of the originators of the 4-2-5 defense, a long-term, long-tenure defensive assistant with SEC ties when you discuss Ole Miss, South Carolina, and he was at Ole Miss, he was at South Carolina, and he was at Arkansas as well. So Dave Womack, one of the originators of the 4-2-5, and his son, Kane, knows an awful lot about it and looking to have success with it here in Tuscaloosa. But we're going to go to our call topic right here, and that being former Alabama cornerback Patrick Surtain II, a former first-round pick in, I believe, the 2021 NFL Draft. Surtain of the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are working on a long-term deal for Pat Surtain. They really like him. Here's a young man that's become one of the best young cornerbacks in the National Football League, one of the more elite shutdown defenders in the pros, and the Broncos are working on a long-term deal for Pat Surtain. Now, they have picked up the fifth-year option on Surtain. They have exercised that. It's big right there. But the news coming out of Broncos camp as we look at the NFL Combine this week, the big news here is the Denver Broncos, they are working on a long-term deal for Patrick Surtain, so really excited there about that. But we take a break here, folks, in the show. Don't touch that dial, because when we get back to the action, we're going to get into Nick Sheridan and Jalen Milroe. Coach Sheridan, the new OC for Alabama, said something in particular about Milroe on the Next Round show earlier today. What was that? And can Milroe fulfill what was said? We'll talk about it after this. We're out here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa. Oh yeah, oh, man. Gotta get this. Gotta get one of these right here. Can't rock that Bama without this shirt right here, fresh polo. You gotta also rock the all pink, like Kanye West right there. Keychains, gotta get you some keychains. University of Alabama keychains. I'm telling you, if you are a die-hard Alabama fan and you're looking for some big-time apparel, this place has got everything. We're talking shirts, shoes, sweatshirts, hoodies, cups, mugs, keychains. If you're just a Tide fan that has an itch to get more apparel, get more swag in your game, you come right here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa, right here in Midtown Village. And also you can shop online. The link is in the description to get your gear right here at Alumni Hall.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, here we go, people. We're back checking into the action from the break. Number one ticket for your Crimson Tide football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Happy to have you guys in here. Continue smashing the like button, tapping the like button right there, hitting that subscribe button, tapping the notification bell so you can remain locked in on all things Bama. That daily super chat goal, $100 daily super chat goal, $100 right there. Appreciate that from all of you. And we get into topic number 2, John, of the conversation this evening. This goes to the quarterback room for Alabama, in particular, Jalen Milroe. Nick Sheridan, offensive coordinator or co-offensive coordinator, but he'll work with quarterbacks. He'll call the plays for Alabama this upcoming season under Coach Kalen DeBoer. Coach Sheridan was on the Next Round show today, WJOX Jocks 94.5 out of Birmingham, and one of the things he talked about was he talked about Milroe, the work ethic that he's got, the mentality that he has. Milroe, the junior from Katy, Texas, entering his 4th season for the Crimson Tide of his past year, had over 2,000 yards passing, 2,834 under Tommy Rees, had 35 total touchdowns, 23 passing, 12 rushing to 6 picks, led Alabama to an SEC championship, got it back to the college football playoff, came so close to playing for a national championship, just came 4 minutes and 41 seconds away from beating Michigan in the Rose Bowl, but Milroe's back. He's back here as the returning starter from last season. And Nick Sheridan, like I said, he mentioned, people talk about Milroe's athletic ability as a runner, but I see him as an explosive passer as well. You saw the development that he had last year. He played a whole lot of snaps. He saw a whole lot of action. And here's a guy that has a work ethic that's second to none. It's unmatched. He has a great attitude. Really like what I'm seeing here and getting a chance to work with Jalen Milroe. This is what Nick Sheridan had to say. And Sheridan, who's a former quarterback himself, played at Michigan from 2006 to 2010. Sheridan understands what Milroe's going through because Sheridan went through a coaching change in 2008 when Michigan went from Lloyd Carr to Rich Rodriguez. So Sheridan knows what Milroe's going through in terms of this coaching change, going from Nick Saban to Kalen DeBoer. And with this being the 3rd offensive coordinator for Milroe, 2021, he had Bill O'Brien. 2022, he had Bill O'Brien. Last year, Tommy Rees. Now Nick Sheridan. Sheridan knows the process of all of this. But he sat there and he mentioned, hey, Jalen Milroe has got the upside that a lot of these guys I worked with in the past have had. And a lot of those guys that Nick Sheridan has worked with in the past include Josh Dobbs, who was at Tennessee. Josh Dobbs now in the NFL, playing for the Minnesota Vikings. And, of course, Nick Sheridan worked with Michael Penix Jr., and we're seeing Penix, especially over the last 2 years, a 2-time 4,000-yard quarterback for Washington, was a Heisman finalist this past year, got the Huskies to a Pac-12 championship, got them to the college football playoff national championship game. So this is Nick Sheridan saying that Jalen Milroe has the same upside in being a sharp, electric, explosive, effective passer that a Joshua Dobbs and that a Michael Penix Jr. were. Now, here's the big question for Jalen Milroe is, can he achieve that? Can he achieve being an explosive passer? That's the big question. Because for us, we saw him excel in the deep ball game last year. That wasn't the issue. Of his 23 touchdown passes. Several of those were on deep balls. The deep ball game is not the issue for Milroe. The issue is the short to intermediate passing routes, right? Those 10 to 15-yard throws to either side of the boundary. Can he clean those up in terms of being an effective, explosive passer? Can he clean those up to be the complete, packaged quarterback? Because in this offense, under King on the board, ran with timing, ran with accuracy, ran with precision, operated with these things. You got to be able to hit and connect on those short to intermediate passing routes. That's the big thing with Milroe. And then number two, the decision-making when it comes to the moment the ball hits your hands, knowing what you're going to do with it. Whether it's throwing it, passing it, whether it's taking off and running with it, not holding on to the ball too long and taking unnecessary sacks, taking unnecessary hits. When the ball hits your hand, have that decision made up. Those are the two biggest things for Milroe, in my opinion, if he wants to be that explosive passer. But he's also got three guys competing against him. He's also got three guys in this quarterback room and in this rotation that are trying to pass him up for this job. Those three guys, you got Ty Simpson, who's a redshirt sophomore, former five-star in the 2022 class from Martin, Tennessee. You got Dylan Larnigan, a redshirt freshman, former four-star from Powerhouse High School, Brookwood in Georgia in the 2023 class. And then you got the transfer, Austin Mack from Folsom High School in California at 6'6", 226 pounds. These are three young men going after the starting job, trying to push and to see can they knock Milroe off of the perch there to get the starting job. It's the reason why this spring it's going to be so exciting, so much fun to watch. Jamarcus Shepard talked about it, with media, this week. He mentioned at that quarterback position, we want our guys to execute at the highest level. We want our guys having that high IQ. We want our guys being able to put this team in situations time and time again, getting the formation right, getting the look right, getting the shift right, getting things right so we can run the right play. Time and time of offense. And this is a big thing for Jalen Milroe, having that timing in place. He can have that timing in place, be that explosive passer. He can have a really, really monster year. But he's got three guys, Ty Simpson, Dylan Larnigan, Austin Mack, who are not going to go away easy. They are going to push here and trying to be a starting quarterback, especially when you talk about Austin Mack, who's already familiar here, with this system. But we're going to go to a quick break right now. When we come back, we're going to get into your phone calls. We're taking them next. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this.
What's up, Bama Nation? This is Rudy Griffin, former Alabama defensive lineman, and you're listening to my guy, Stephen M. Smith, in my own words, brought to you by Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Roll Tide, roll!
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care. In support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, people are locked into the action from the break here. Number one form for Bama. Football news, in my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. We're going to go to the phone lines right now to grab your calls. Call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. Number to call in, 205-448-1358. We grab this call. You're live on the show. What's happening, how we feel, and state your name and where you calling from.
Stephen M. Tobias out of Phoenix, Arizona. How's it going?
Doing great, Tobias. Doing great. We got spring practice kicking up Monday, March the 4th. Baby, I can smell it. It's here.
Man, it's like it was yesterday when Coach Saban left. Now we're already in the spring. The thing is that I know people criticize the assistant coaching hires, but let's be real here. We don't know who most of these assistant coaches are. If you're a flashy name, most likely you're already a head coach. I remember Alabama fans not wanting Jim McElwain. He got a couple of titles. They didn't want Lane Kiffin. They didn't want Sark either. It's just you have to give assistants a shot. And I really like Jamarcus Shepard. And I just believe as long as you got the head man right, I believe the assistant is going to take care of itself.
Tobias, I feel the same way. It's like in the NFL, as long as you got the quarterback right in the NFL, every other piece takes care of itself. As long as you got the quarterback right in the NFL. In college football, as long as you got the head coach right, everything else will fall into place. I really like what Kagan DeBoer is doing and starting to put together. Jamarcus Shepard's the real deal. Like, that guy is the real deal. And I'm just intrigued to see what does he do with these wide receivers.
Talent everywhere. And I think, what people got to understand also, because of Coach Saban's age, let's be real, it was hard to get people because once the coach leaves, that new coach doesn't have to keep you. And now you may have some guys that may stick around for 3 or 4 years because people tripping about Grubb. Hey, Grubb never wanted to be here. At least they got people who want to be here.
Tobias, and that's the point. Grubb never – everybody that wanted to be at Alabama, they immediately changed to updated their social media profile to reflect that. Grubb never did that.
Yeah, and my last thing is, I know people talk to quarterbacks, right? I think what people got to understand is, I think Milroe's a good kid. I think he's a good player. But I'm not a coach. But I don't know some of the things that he's deficient at. You can learn, especially 4th year on campus. Because the reason, in my opinion, Michigan blitzed the heck out of them, because they didn't believe Milroe could make those hot reads and set the protection, and they were right, unfortunately. Now, I believe that it has to be open, because if people can he can get better, well, what about the other guys? And I know people going to bring up the South Florida game. Something in me believe if they went with Ty Simpson that game, that was one of their guys, they might have performed better and not quit like they did against what's the other guy playing lacrosse. His name doesn't even matter right now. But I just think that you have to open it up because it's like the NFL. They ain't their guys. And I'm not even talking about Austin Mack. I'm looking at Dylan Lonergan, maybe the guy, maybe the the dark horse in all of this. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, Steven, you got more sources than I do. If it wasn't for his birth certificate, maybe he would have been the one pushing for the job last year.
I will say this. I remember talking to a lot of people last spring. We're talking players, a lot of people. And Dylan Lonergan was the one that they said, this guy is the best guy on the team. They were very high on Lonergan all spring. Last A-Day, the best quarterback statistically was Dylan Lonergan.
Yeah. But yeah, you don't start freshman quarterbacks for a reason. Dante Moore started UCLA. He's like one of the top quarterbacks in the country. They fare that well. There's a reason you don't start them. But I just think that the one thing that I'm looking for with this team, I wonder if this coaching staff is going to play these young boys more. That's what I hope they do, play some of the young boys more because, hey, if the older guys ain't cutting it, giving them young boys a shot. They 4 and 5 stars for a reason. And the only way you get experience is by doing it. And that's all I have, Stephen Day. Hey, thanks for taking my call as always. Keep up the great work.
Appreciate Tobias from Phoenix. Appreciate Tobias calling in right there out of Phoenix. Good point right there. The only way these young guys are going to get better, time of a job. Put them out on the field. Let them get experience. I mentioned this before. One of the biggest things with Coach Saban, sometimes overly loyal to particular players. Kalen DeBoer has no ties to you. So if you're the real deal, show them you're the real deal. We're going to take this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, Stephen, it's Daniel from Phoenix City. How are you, sir?
Doing great, Daniel. Cannot complain here, man. We got spring practice Monday, March 4th. It is here. I can see it. I'm ready to go.
I hear that, man. Hey, I haven't been able to listen nearly as much with work and everything the last couple of weeks, so you may have addressed this already, but I'll just get to it. I was listening to another show last week, I believe, and they were talking about the 4-2-5 that Coach Womack likes to run, and they were talking about concerns as far as stopping the run. What do you think on that?
Okay, so in the 4-2-5, you're going to have 4 down linemen. Now, the 2 defensive tackles, one is looked at as a traditional nose tackle, which is basically a space eater, nose guard. The other guy is looked at as a bandit tackle. By bandit, that guy may have a bit more speed, could be able to affect the quarterback, pressure the quarterback as well as stop the run. I look at, in my opinion, you could have Tim Keenan and Jaheim Otis, both of those 2 inside. You could have both of those 2 guys inside. And Tim Keenan had a very good year last year. He's about to take another step forward this year. Jaheim Otis made growth last year, can make more growth this year. And I know people talk about, well, Steven, we haven't had that Jonathan Allen guy. We haven't had that Deron Payne guy. We haven't had that Quinnen Williams guy. We haven't had that Ashawn Robinson guy in a long time. And I get that. I understand that. Part of that is you got to have the coaches to also pull that type of mentality out of those players. And Freddie Roach took a step up this past season in the development process. Can he take another step forward in pulling more of that aggression from those guys?
Right. I understand. That kind of got me, thinking a little bit about it. And, I look for the secondary to be pretty awesome this coming year, but I'm also really, really looking forward to seeing Justice Haynes and Jam Miller and Richard Young hopefully just get out there, crush it, and the receivers. I'm real excited about the offense. But that's it. I appreciate everything, Stephen. Thank you. Have a great night.
Absolutely. Daniel from Phoenix City calling in right there. I'm intrigued with the offense, too. I mean, who becomes the number 1 receiver in the room? You got a 3-headed monster at running back. How do you divvy out the carries? The offensive line under Coach Chris Kaplovich, can he have this group playing at an elite level? You got 3 guys back with experience when you talk Tyler Booker, Jaden Roberts, Elijah Pritchett. You bring over a transfer, Parker Brausser from the portal from Washington, one of the best centers in the country. I mean, this offensive line can be good if it really, really hammers everything home. The big part there for the offensive line. But guys, show some love to Conte Plummer! Conte Plummer with that $5 donation, helping us out on the show. And then we got my guy, Siobhan Pumpy. Let's go! Siobhan Pumpy with that 989, dropping the love in there. Appreciate you guys helping us out on the show. Thanks to all of you, the Bama Nation. Cool call topic, right? Well, we got another call here. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, Steve, what's going on, man? This is Chris out of Dallas. I was calling. I know it's been a while since I've been listening in or whatever, but I know Scott Cochran had left Georgia. Do you have any update on him, or could he possibly coming back, or what's the deal on that?
Well, right now, no update on Scott Cochran. It's just he's no longer at Georgia. There's no buzz or no type of insight of him possibly coming back to Alabama or wanting to join the Crimson Tide. There is no information on Scott Cochran other than he's no longer at Georgia.
Okay, cool. I appreciate it, man. Keep up with good work. Roll Tide.
Appreciate Chris there calling in out of Dallas there. No new info on Scott Cochran, just he's no longer with the University of Georgia at this time. But Call topic here, folks. The NFL Scouting Combine this week. Lucas Oil Stadium, Indianapolis. The annual Underwear Olympics, where pro scouts and NFL teams are all there, watching the new wave of collegiate athletes getting ready to go to the NFL draft. And 10 Bama alums are at the Combine. Those 10 Bama alums, you look at Dallas Turner, Chris Braswell, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Terrion Arnold, Jalen Key, Justin Eboigbe's there, Will Reichert's there, J.C. Latham's there, Jermaine Burton is there. That is 9. Jace McClellan is there. That's 10. There are 10 Bama alums there at the Combine. Now, the on-field workouts, the on-field stuff that we all go ooh and ah about, the 40 times and all of that, that takes place tomorrow, Thursday, 29th. On NFL Network. You can catch it right there, NFL Network. So the on-field workouts are from Thursday to, I believe, Monday, March 4th. And it's going to be intriguing to see who are the sleepers in this combine for Bama that come out and perform well. Some of the more notable guys, how do they do? My eyeballs will be on Will Reichert. How high can he go in this upcoming draft as a place kicker? You know, Jace McClellan, who battled through some injuries in his career. What will he be able to do at the Combine? I'm just looking forward to seeing a lot of stuff. How well will Terrion Arnold perform? How will Kool-Aid do? Jalen Key? Just a lot to look at there in terms of the scouting combine. But the guys will start the on-field stuff on Thursday, and that will go to Monday, March the 4th. But we take our final break here on the show. On Touch That Down, when we get back, we wrap things up by discussing Coach Jamarcus Shepard of Alabama and what he will be able to do with this group of wide receivers. We wrap up with that after this.
I'm Malachi Moore, and you're watching In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith on Touchdown Alabama YouTube channel.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
What's going on? This is Benny Bice. I'm the founder and owner of Touchdown Alabama. And you guys are supporting one of the only independent outlets covering Alabama football today. No other sports, no networks, just Alabama football. Roll Tide Roll.
All right, people, we're back into the action here, folks, from the break. Number one ticket here for Bama. Football news, in my own words, George Truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Happy to have you all here on this evening. Got to show some love to the president, Waylon, dropping that $9.99 in the Super Chats. Thanks to Waylon helping us out here on the network. We look at the final topic, John, of conversation. This goes to wide receivers coach Jamarcus Shepard for the Crimson Tide. Big energy, big enthusiasm, big motivation, big ideas. Wants to see this team, wants to see this offense get to the college football playoff, win a national championship. You got a mixture of Bama guys and a mixture of Washington guys with the chip on their shoulder now in Tuscaloosa because, I mean, both teams were both in the playoff. They were both right there. Both had a shot at it. Alabama had a shot to play for a national championship, came 4 minutes and 41 seconds short against Michigan in the Rose Bowl. Washington had a shot to win a national championship. They got beat 34-13 by Michigan in the title game. So both of these things come together in trying to get back to that stage and finish the job. And for Jamarcus Shepard, he likes to call his wide receivers takers. They aggressively run the route. They aggressively catch the football. They aggressively take plays. The takers out there on the field. And what's going to be fun here is how does he develop this room of wide receivers to where we see a number one guy emerge in this room in spring practice. I mean, I understand we're all excited about Ryan Williams, the 5-star from Sarah Lynn High School that will be in Tuscaloosa in the summer. We're all excited about that, right? But with us being focused now on spring practice, which one of these guys right now on the roster can emerge and be that number one guy in the room for Alabama? The Crimson Tide lost a marquee receiver to the NFL draft, that being Jermaine Burton, and it lost two big receivers to the transfer portal, that being Ja'Cory Brooks and Isaiah Bond. It also lost Shaz Preston as well to the transfer portal, but, there's that right there. But when you look at the guys coming back, you got Kobe Prentice back. You've got Kendrick Law back. You've got Jalen Hale back. You got a transfer and Jeremy Bernard from Washington in here. You got Emmanuel Henderson in here, Cole Adams in here, Jaron Hamilton in here. Then you signed Rico Scott and Amari Jefferson. You got dudes. You got dudes. The main guys. So you got Prentice, Law, Jalen Hale, Jeremy Bernard. If you are Jamarcus Shepard, if you're an Alabama fan, which one of these four is the number one guy? If you had to pick, which of these four between Law, Prentice, Hale, and Bernard will be the number one guy for you for this roster for Alabama? To me, I would go Prentice. That's just me. I would go Kobe Prentice as the number one guy. That's just my opinion. But who would you say out of these four, Bama Nation, would be the number one receiver here ending in spring practice for your Crimson Tide? It's going to be fun to watch what Coach Shepard does. And then you also have to take Caleb Odom into account here. Caleb Odom, who 4-star tight end from Carrollton, Georgia, in this recent signing class 2024, on social media, Instagram to be exact, he changed his position from tight end to wide receiver. Part of the reason why, you got Josh Cubas, former Washington tight end. He's now at Alabama at that position. So that kind of has Odom thinking, maybe I can be more so of a hybrid. I can move on to that wide receiver spot. With that being said, how much of an impact could Caleb Odom have this spring? I go back to the practices for the Rose Bowl over there in California. I got word from quite a few people that Odom was dominating folks out there. Mawson guys catching the ball on top of people out there at the Rose Bowl prep. So how much of a push as a hybrid player, as a wide receiver type, can he make here in spring ball? But going to be enticing to see what Coach Shepard does with these wide receivers, because we haven't seen an elite group since the Judy, Ruggs, Smith, Waddle group, like an elite group as a whole. We haven't seen that since that quartet of that quad of receivers right there. So it'll be fun to watch and see what Shepard does. But as always, Bama Nation, you want the best in news, notes, information, material, conversation, entertainment on your favorite program, that being the Crimson Tide. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama magazine app. You download the app from the iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple. Google Play Store if you got the Android phone for your audio needs. Check us out, iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, Google Play, iHeartRadio. We got you covered right there. Good and gracious Lord sees fit, I'll try to be back on Friday, continuing the conversation that is Tide football. Got to show some love to all of you, the Bama fans, for the calls tonight, for the donations tonight, for the commenting in the YouTube chat line tonight, for making this your show, your spot, your place here for Tide football. Also got to show some love to my man John Ivory in the production studio, holding things in order. Till next time, folks, husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children, you guys continue doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing to not be bored there. You get yourself those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself. You protect the loved ones around you. Till next time, folks, I'm your man Stephen Smith, and you've been listening In my own words.